Hi and welcome back to Jim Builds, and today I want to try and make the Cortina a little bit nicer to drive. When I did the interior, I put it back to how it was originally, so that was carpet with like an underlay, and that's how it left the factory, so left it at that. Now, driving the car, especially over 50, it is getting loud, like quite uncomfortable, to the point where I'm not driving as far as I should or as I'd like to, and let's try and improve that, because the sound deadening has come on an awful long way in the last 50 years. So to try and make this a bit scientific, I've got an old phone which has now got a decibel meter on it. I know it's not going to be the most reliable thing, but it will give us an indication on how much we've improved. So I'll have this on whilst I'm driving and see where it peaks and roughly where we're at, and yeah, just go for a little drive. Right, so first things first, I am going to try and get her fired up, and she's not run for about 2 weeks now, so this might not be as straightforward as I thought. Before I forget, without anything on, let's try one more. Third time's the charm. And we're already at 669, which is apparently conversation. Right, I'm gonna get this warmed up, get the camera set up, and then we'll go for a drive. So the reason I picked this journey is because it's a mix of everything. It's mostly driving to work. So I've got a little bit of town, got a little bit of countryside, and if I really fancy it, could even do a bit of motorway. But the main thing is it's going to get me up over 50, which is when we're going to find out how loud it gets. So currently around the 60s. Too bad at the minute. Like, you can have a conversation, we're doing 40 miles an hour and quite comfortably have a conversation, but for some reason when you get it up another 10, just everything seems so loud, and 70 on the motorway, Christ, it is unbearable. About hearing the vibration, I don't know where it's coming from. After all that, I'm back home and I've ordered some sound deadening, which should be arriving soon. So whilst I'm waiting for that to come, it's interior out. Now, didn't really want to take the interior out, but I also like having eardrums. So that's why I've decided to do it. And because I've got a heat wave coming over the next few days, I won't be using the car anyway, because no aircon means I will melt. Right, with enough of that, let's start taking the interior out. So, time lapse. Right, that's all the interior out, and it is looking pretty messy, so I've got to get this double-sided tape off, and this foam that I put on, which wasn't the right stuff looking back, before we can carry on. So I'll do that, and I'll show you what it's like in a bit. So the stuff's arrived. Bought 3.4 metres squared of this, so that should be enough to do the bulkhead, where the rear seat is, and probably most of the interior actually, from what I've measured, assuming I can probably get a few losses. So yeah, so I've got one of these, or some of these, bought a couple of rollers to make sure it's really pushed in, and to prep the panels before I start, using some of this, which this has lasted ages, so I actually used that to panel prep for when I was painting the car. Really good stuff. It'll just make sure that even though I've cleaned the bulkhead and got all the adhesive off, and same on the floor, I just want to make sure this is going to stick, and that will just get rid of any other little oils or whatever else. Yeah. Now, it's gone on quite well, so just make sure that it's all properly pushed down, and I've got loads left to do, but I'll carry on. So all the mat is on now. I've got a couple of sheets left which I'm going to use for the boot, but it's gone on alright actually. There's a few bits, you know, some bits here where I've just used offcuts to fill in the gaps. I'm not putting anything here because I've got a chassis leg and that's actually fairly stiff, so I'm not too worried about that. And I can say I'm quite happy with the result. Now that I've finished putting the kill mat on, I'm going to go on with this, which is a closed cell material that's like 6mm thick. It's also good for sound deadening, and I'll show you where I'm going to put it. The mission really is to go to just basically do the seating area. So I want to go from the footwell down to this footwell, and on the other side, so literally from the sill to the transmission tunnel. The tunnel I'm going to leave because I've got some stuff to go on that anyway, which is what I used before. Yeah, I think that should do the trick. So sat idling, we're about 65, which is not too dissimilar to where I was before, which I kind of expected, because I mean, this is going to really affect it when we start getting up to speed. So it's not risen as much as it had done previously. It still feels comfortable, even though we're doing, you know, coming up to 30. Registering 6970, so I think that's a noticeable difference of about 5 decibels, and it really can tell. I feel I'm not having to raise my voice. It feels quite comfortable. Hopefully it carries on like this. Now's the time to find out. Still comfortable. It's gone up a bit, we're at 75 now, but it still doesn't feel uncomfortable. It's been a couple of weeks since I've actually installed the sound deadening and given it that test. I just wanted to see how I was what I thought of it, and I'm really happy actually. It's hard to tell on the video because I need a better microphone, so it's picking up more distortion than what I'm getting in real life. But I think it's made a genuine difference, and now I feel more confident that I can go on the motorway for long distances and not have my ears bleed. So I'm pretty cool about that, because all I want to do with this car is use it. It's not going to be sat up in the garage forevermore, and it's not a trailer queen, so let's just get it used. And that's what we're doing soon. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something from it. If you've got any questions, just get in touch, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.